Wuthering Waves has been firing on all cylinders ever since the 2.0 patch arrived back at the start of the year. There is one cylinder that they might need to look over and reconsider how much they are pumping into it. The cylinder that I am talking about is the Echo Sonata sets. The devs introduced a plethora of new sets at the start of the year to prepare us for the new characters that would be arriving in the new region of Renacita. These new sets would cover most of the new characters all the way up to about version 2.3. The new sets were well received and provided different effects than the Sonata sets that were provided in the 1.x versions of the game. This included adding different effects such as resonant skill damage up on the 2-piece Frosty Resolve, or giving a crit rate boost upon inflicting Frazzle on an enemy with the 5-piece Eternal Radiance. These new sets were a welcome addition to the game, as they could also be useful on some of the older units in the game, such as the Catboy, Chun-Li, or any coordinated attack users. There is even a new support set for Havoc users to buff incoming Resonators' Havoc damage instead of using Moonlight's attack buff. There was a slight issue starting here though, that was going to continue to grow as the 2.x patches continue to arrive. Out of the new Sonata sets that we received in the 2.0 patch, not all of them had new effects. Anthem and Courage both had the same 2-piece effect of increasing energy regen, just like Moonlight. This led to the issue of having to farm pieces for a set that would give you the same effect of one that you have already had. It's not possible to use 2 of your Moonlight pieces for either Anthem or Courage, since you need all 5 slots to be either Anthem or Courage to get the new effect that the Sonata set provides. Thus, this means more farming. Now at first, this may not seem like an issue since it seems only natural for some effects to be repeated. But then came version 2.2 and its new Sonata sets, Gust of Welkin. Welkin was a new arrow set meant to be used for supporting arrow characters. Its 5-piece effect was brand new, but its 2-piece effect was a reused effect once more, which was 10% arrow damage. With this, we now have 2 sets with 10% arrow damage for the 2-piece effect. Now, we arrive at 2.4, which introduced 2 more new Sonata sets. The new arrivals were a new fusion set and another arrow set. This arrow set, however, was meant for DPS arrow characters. The 2-piece effect of this set was once more plus 10% to arrow damage. Once again, you would need to refarm a whole 5 set for an arrow character due to the inclusion of a repeat 2-piece effect. The fusion set also included a repeat 2-piece effect and plus 10% to fusion damage. I'm sure you are starting to see the trend here. For anyone who plays Wuthering Waves, you know how expensive it is to raise a whole set of 5 Echoes up to level 25, which is the max. This is not even considering the fact you will have to do it multiple times in order to even get a decent set of substats on your Echoes, unless you are just extremely lucky. Most of us, however, are not that lucky to be able to one and done the Echo rolls. Having to re-roll full 5-piece Sonata sets constantly due to having repetitive 2-piece effects is not fun, and frankly got a little old in my opinion, especially when seeing a 3rd arrow set appear once more with the same arrow damage up effect. I feel like it was a missed opportunity to have some of the new sets have 2-piece effects such as basic attack damage up, heavy attack damage up, or maybe even something different like having a double effect of 2-piece giving energy regen plus 5% and attack plus 5%, instead of having it give one stat a full 10%. Adding new effects that we have not seen before would allow for even more creativity in the character builds. This did not seem to be the plan for the devs. At least, that's what it seemed like until we got to version 2.5. In version 2.5, we got a new 5-star character in Frolova. As has been the case for a while now, a new character usually means a new Sonata set that tailors to them if there is not one already available. Frolova could have used one of the 2 available Havoc sets, but the devs decided to make a new set that was tailored specifically for her. The big difference here is that this new set is the first 3-piece Sonata set in the game. This means that Frolova has some of the most flexible options for her Echo sets in the game. She is able to utilize her new 3-piece set with the combo of either of the Havoc sets that we have, or even the Resonance skill damage up that we have from Frosty Resolve. 2-piece Lingering Tunes is an option as well if you just want to raise her attack, or you can even go crazier with giving Frolova the 1-cost Cruise Wing in the main slot to turn her into a healer for the team with 2-piece Rejuvenating Glow. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you have the option to do it and not lose all of your damage, thanks to the majority of Frolova's damage being in her new 3-piece set. It's amazing how they put this in and how it works with everything else, and this kind of shows what some of the other sets should have been. One of the new Arrow sets that dropped could have been a 3-piece, and either Tide Breaking Courage or Anthem could have been a 3-piece as well, since now we already have 3 energy regen 2-piece effects. There is an issue that some people have had with this new 3-piece set for Frolova, however. This issue being in how we actually obtain the new Sonata set. For this new set, there was no new Tacit Field added to farm it. Instead, they added in a Nightmare Nest. Outside of the Nightmare Nest, the only 1 and 3 cost echoes that carry the new set are Ignis Echoes and Chopless Echoes, which means there's only 2 options in the overworld to get this set outside of the Nightmare Nest, which contains the Nightmare Echoes that hold the set. The Nightmare Echoes are not found in the overworld yet. These Nightmare Echoes are only available in the nest that can only be fought once daily. It does not require energy to collect these echoes, however, as the Nightmare Echoes will just drop like normal overworld echoes do while clearing the nest. The 4-cost echo for this new set can't be collected normally, as they have their own respective boss fights that can be done repeatedly without limit. Some people have taken issue with this, as it means that it is technically harder to collect the 1 and 3 cost echoes for this set than the 4 costs. You only have a set amount that you can possibly attain in one day, and you must deal with the RNG of whether it will even drop, and if it does drop, will the main stat be something you need? If not, you either have to wait or use a modifier to adjust the main stat. On top of this is also the RNG of getting the right substat rolls, as well as having them even drop, as they might not even drop after defeating them in the Nightmare Nest. Some people assumed you would be able to bypass the daily limit of the Nightmare Nest by using the Echo Boxes that were obtained from Fantasies of 1,000 Gateways. But this new Havoc set was not added to the selection that the boxes are able to provide you with, which upset some people. While the addition of the 3-piece set is greatly welcome, the rollout of the set was fumbled in my opinion with some of the choices that they made. For me personally, I actually don't think the addition of the Nightmare Nest is that bad of an idea. While not adding this set into the fantasy boxes was a huge miss. If the new set was included in the boxes, I think people would have been less upset about the choice to limit the daily amount of 1 and 3 cost echoes people can farm for the set. Regardless, I am sure people will make their voices heard about these choices regarding the new set's availability with the version survey near the end of the version. I am hoping that Kuro will continue to add 3-piece sets in the near future instead of 5-piece sets with repeat 2-piece effects. With some small adjustments here and there, 3-piece sets could easily end up being one of the best additions for Wuthering Waves during its second year. Let me know down below what you guys thought of this whole situation and how you are feeling about the handling of Sonata sets so far in the 2.x versions of the game.